Hi, everyone. I'm Tom Mraz from the Illinois Department of Commerce. Uh, Welcome to the meeting. It's a long time since our last get-together, which was in person on January 7th of this year. Your management has asked the U.S. Department of Labor to approve Castwell employees for the better benefits awarded when foreign trade impacts a plant closing or a layoff. Uh, and when we say foreign trade, we mean imported products or U.S. Manufacturing production that's sent outside the U.S. Today's good news is that the U.S. Department looked into it, U.S. Department of Labor, they looked into it and they said, you're right to your management. So today we brought in the experts to cover how this affects you. There are no fees because these are federal tax-funded benefits. So we have experts today from National Able Network here to cover what we call the trade program. It's based on the Trade Act of 1974, which is a law. The National Able has managed the trade program in Chicago and in Cook County since 2007. National Able has several locations. You can see them on the screen under number 2B there. And check out the handouts link at the bottom, because not only will you find handouts for these services, but there'll also be a recording there in 24 to 48 hours, where if you want to go back and review something, you can check out the recording, both of the sound and of the PowerPoint slides. So you're going to we're going to cover the content and then answer questions, and I think we'll get all that done within an hour. So let me introduce Mercedes Gutierrez of National Able Network.
Hello, good morning to everyone, and thank you for coming to this presentation. I will be sharing my screen momentarily. Give me 1 second. Okay, wonderful. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Tom, and welcome to National Able Network. You are here because you may be eligible for the Trade Adjustment Assistance Program, or TAA, as we will be referring to it for the rest of the slides. This is an introductory session, and I would ask if you can please silence your cell phones if you haven't already done so, to prevent any from any distractions. Before I get into the logistics of the program, I wanted to talk a little bit about our organization. Our mission, we are a nonprofit dedicated to assisting individuals to make careers happen through career coaching, specialized training, and providing direct connections to the job market. We have served over 70,000 job seekers every year, with an overall increase of wages of 19%, as well as more than 3 of every 4 people starting a totally new career path. Our vision is to empower people to improve their lives towards self-sufficiency by providing sustainable long-term solution rather than a quick fix attempt. I want to talk a little bit more about where our expertise lies, and it is coming from the support of career coaches as training employment service specialists. Their individualized approach focuses on having personal pathway discussions with you to help you through the training protocols and procedures, tailoring an individualized career plan, as well as resume optimization as it pertains to you. A vast 97% of clients recommend our services, so we are leaving a mark. Once your individual needs have been established, the job search advancement begins with an emphasis on personal branding. So what is your skill set and expertise? What can you bring to the table? As well as effective networking, like what types of companies and positions would interest you that match your skill set. Among the most unique features is a job search work team, another support system where clients like you come together and share their experiences and tips on what has worked for them, and really a great way to hold each other accountable for their individual job search. We believe that it is through all of the above that you become a known candidate. 81% of the clients gain employment within this program. So by connecting you directly with employers, you also receive exclusive job leads, invitation to hiring and networking events leading to job referrals, which we believe are fundamental in obtaining not just the right employment, but also access to higher wages. Um, Additionally, National Able provides access to a resource center, which has been closed due to COVID. But once we are able to open back up, we are able to provide you with computer, internet, printer, fax, and phone access if you ever needed it. We also provide support services whenever available, like assistance with training goals and transportation. But that can be discussed further in detail with your career coach as the need arises. One of our greatest tools as an organization is our Jumpstart workshops. They incorporate leading edge curriculum on current job market trends. We're constantly refining and making sure that we are covering the latest. We have seen also that participants get their jobs 32% faster than the non-participating job seeker. So I just wanted to, what you see in color are basically the entire curriculum of workshops. And I'll be briefly discussing them in detail just so that you can keep in mind which one of these may interest you the most. So for instance, the first one, my skills, my goals. It helps you identify exactly what you're looking for, given your skills and interests, and therefore helps you define your goals. The Ultimate Guide to Resume is another great workshop. So much has changed since we began talking about resumes. Some of you may not even have a resume. So this workshop really nails the do's and don'ts of resume writing. LinkedIn. Some of you, if you are familiar, this is a platform for professionals to engage in networking and to really highlight their skills so that you can become more, so that employers can see you and you are more employable. If you are new to social media presence or you would like to refine or maintain your LinkedIn profile, this is one you truly don't want to miss out. And it's not just for executives. This platform extends to all kinds of industries and all positions. So don't shy away from it. The next one is interview success. When was the last time you went to an interview? Some of you have worked at Castwell for, over 10 years, maybe over 15 years. So it really has been a while since you have performed an interview and so much has changed. So I highly recommend that you don't think you're just going to wing it and that you may be better prepared for, the actual interview so that you can perform it successfully. Introduction to social media. Again, so much has changed when it comes down to job searching. This will pretty much highlight or encompass all useful applications that you can benefit from and really get you to understand a better way to connect to the world of employment opportunities. Introduction to networking. Is it really just about knowing someone? This workshop will help you identify viable opportunities to connect with others, especially other employers. Financial wellness while seeking employment is one of our most newer workshops, and I think it's a perfect opportunity to talk about money, given that some of you already are receiving unemployment benefits or will be receiving them. Typically what that means is that your income is decrease. So this is a really great opportunity to review some of those tips that these professionals have for our financial management during these times. Another workshop is exceptional customer service. It doesn't hurt to refine our people skills no matter what job you choose to go into, what job. And lastly, job scan. This is a workshop that really taps into the most efficient ways to get past the screening process in the cyberspace world and actually get your resume to land on human hands. So I highly recommend these workshops. I have attended some of them, and just when you think you know everything, there's always something new to discover. Our career training assistance pretty much entails covering tuition and tuition-related expenses in some cases for different types of educational or training programs. We can cover GED, high school diploma, ESL, adult basic education. The underlying requirement for this support is that your training is offered at a reasonable cost with high probability of resulting in employment within an allowable time frame and earning wages comparable to your last employment. Um, so other guidelines to keep in mind is that you have a maximum of 130 weeks, which already includes your 6 months of basic unemployment. But we'll be discussing that more in detail in the following slides. We have a soft cap of around $20,000 for the training cost, and you must have an occupational goal, with the assistance of a career coach. It also must end in an industry recognized credential. You will be provided with more information on attending a training guidance workshop, which very much talks in detail about what the process looks like in terms of attaining a training and all the paperwork relative to that. So here you are today. Hopefully you can find information on how to start a new career path. Again, this is the Trade Adjustment Assistance Program, or TAA. Some of you may find yourself ready for a new career or expand or looking to expand on your current skill sets. Some of you are ready to look for a job. Just training is not for you or may not be for you. And some of you may already be employed. That entails our excuse me one second. Oh, yeah. So what is TAA? Well, the Trade Adjustment Assistance Reauthorization Act is a federal program that provides services to workers who have lost or may lose their jobs as a result of foreign trade of goods or services. Again, we will be referring to it as TAA. And I also wanted to remind everyone that this is not some type of legal binding or commitment. This is a program that is completely voluntary, and you're not obliged to stick through if certain life circumstances change and you have to terminate the training program. So I'll just get started with reviewing a document that you will have access to if you haven't already. And it's probably the most important document that you need to look at as you enroll in this program. And it's called the Benefit Rights and Obligations, or the BRO. The first slide really kind of I'll be talking about the different time period brackets that entail or sum up to your 130 weeks of unemployment benefits. The first tier is the unemployment insurance, which is your basic unemployment, and it lasts for 26 weeks, roughly 6 months. Some of you, if you were laid off early this year, may be coming down to the end of your 6 months. You will be provided, as soon as we get information on your last day worked, you will be provided a deadline that we have to keep a very close eye on. But more information on that will be coming up. This deadline refers to the end of that 26th week from when you started receiving unemployment. From when you became laid off. So moving forward, the second tier or the bracket is your basic TRA, and that lasts for about 26 weeks. And your unemployment benefits will end at your 52 weeks from the start of those benefits, unless you're enrolled in a credential or certificate program. Keep in mind that if you're trying to obtain, if you're in an English as a second language or an adult basic education program, that does not lead to a certification. So you would not qualify for further unemployment service benefits past the 52-week mark. And the last two tiers, additional and completion TRA, basically are there to assist you in completing any credentials or any testing while you're in the training program. Something that is very important and in getting your application approved through the state is what we call the 7 conditions. It is part of the training application criteria, and they need to be submitted to the state for approval with your help to demonstrate that all the training requests meet all the 7 conditions. This will, obviously, you will not be left alone there. You will be guided and supported from your career coach to make sure that we are meeting all the 7 conditions. And the first one, there is no suitable employment, which may include technical and professional employment suitable for an adversely affected worker, in this case, yourself. Suitable employment is determined as one that pays at least 80% of your weekly wages and requires a skill level of that in your former position. The second condition is that you would benefit from appropriate training. It's very simple and straightforward. What this means is that you are capable both mentally and physically to undertake this program from start to finish, and that you do so in a satisfactory manner. If this sounds intimidating, please be assured that, again, this document or involvement in this program does not bind you legally, but it is in your best interest to obtain your occupational goal. Still voluntary, and circumstances can change at any point during the course of this program. Condition number 3, there is reasonable expectation of employment following successful completion of such training. And it means just that the state expects that given the new or updated skill set you've learned during your training program, that you have a pretty good chance of obtaining suitable employment. Number 4, basically says that training approved is reasonably available to you from either a government agency or private sources. Is this training possible within your community area, your city or state? Otherwise, why would you benefit from a training that is only available out of state if that's the case? Know that you have the option to do so. However, we just have to make a case for it. Number 5, delineates that you are qualified to undertake and complete such training. You will be required to take a specific test to assess your academic level through this program. You will be given more information on that, and that will be assessing your educational capabilities. Additionally, does this training extend your current skill set or work experience? However, it doesn't have to. Maybe you landed this job at a time when it suited your needs. And however, you are always fascinated with computer science and you want to make a complete change of career path. This is also a great program to go in that direction. Keep in mind that training ideally should be available for completion within the time frame of allowable unemployment benefits. Again, a few slides back, I talked about a total of 130 weeks, of which your basic unemployment may already have been used up, the 26 weeks or 6 months. If your desired program of choice goes beyond that, beyond that time frame of 130 days, then we may have to look at other options like, proof of income when the time comes, or maybe it's a time to have a discussion about a different program that is more comfortably within that time period. Number 6 condition is that such training is suitable for you and available at a reasonable cost. So the state needs to see that in your research of schools referred to as training providers, you have selected one that is within a reasonable cost compared to other institutions that offer similar training content. If you choose one that significantly differs in cost from others with similar training, you would have to have a reason why you highly benefit from that particular training provider. Know that it is possible. We just have to, again, make a case for it. And finally, condition number 7 mandates that it has to be an industry recognized credential, unless of course you are in English as a second language or adult basic education. The certificate, it could be certification and a license or high school diploma or a GED or even a college diploma, bachelor's, master's. We have seen even cases of people obtaining their PhDs as well. To continue to moving with the BRO, it is very important that you understand that while this program is incredibly beneficial to you, it is a quite significant amount of money that the Department of Labor is willing to fund. So we expect definitely a successful training participation from you. And what that means is that you have to reach certain benchmarks. And some of the things that you really have to keep in mind is that you have to submit proof of attendance every 2 weeks. Think of it like payroll. In this case, you are solely responsible for the timely submission. If you miss to send them to your career coach, the state can't deny your benefits. You also need to provide satisfactory progress every 2 months. What that means is kind of like a progress report or report card in grades. This is an opportunity to remind you that all the choices made before and during training will impact your participation and benefits in the TAA program. I wanted to discuss 2 aspects of under the TAA program. One of these programs is called the Reemployment Trade Adjustment Assistance Program, or the RTAA. If attending a training program is not, most beneficial to you, and if you meet the following requirements, you are able to obtain a wage subsidy or cash benefits. So if you are 50 years old and better, and your new employer or your new employment wages are below what you were getting at Castwell, you may be able to receive these wage subsidies. Also, you cannot make more than $50,000 a year. Please let us know if you're already employed or you're not interested in training upfront as soon as possible, or if you are interested in job search assistance so that we may be better able to assist you in a timely fashion. There are, of course, other TA services to tell you about. I will be discussing, they're not used as frequently. The other one that I will be discussing is the HCTC, which is a health coverage tax credit that is administered by the IRS and not the Department of Labor. And in order for you to qualify for this tax credit, you have to be enrolled in a training program or be an RTA recipient, the wage subsidy program. It is a 72.5% tax credit, and it is given through your participation from certain insurance companies. The website is actually on page 7 of your BRO document that you will be receiving a document of.
And can I say something?
Yes, sir.
And you have your choice of being reimbursed either annually through your April 15th federal tax return, which is not going to be April 15th this year, but normally is, or you can get reimbursed monthly on the basis of getting back 72.5% of what you spend on health insurance. And after Mercedes finishes with these slides, I can show you a slide of the actual page. It's really not bad at all in terms of enrolling. I'm going to mute now.
Thank you so much, Tom. Very useful information. Okay, so that pretty much, in a nutshell, tells you what we are as an organization and what the program entails. So I want to talk a little bit more in the next few minutes, just to what are the next steps. So I really encourage you to take this time to reflect on what type of training program has always interested you, but perhaps never got to because life happened. This is definitely a program that allows you to obtain unemployment benefits while you attend training tuition free. And it is also once in a lifetime opportunity. So if this is not the time for you to go into school, know that it is still available to you at any time in the future as long as the funds are available. So with that said, I'm going to be discussing one step at a time. So the first step, as we like to call it, is to submit some preliminary documentation. Is enlisted here. You will be getting, my belief is that you will be getting these as we follow up through email, and then you can complete these forms and sign them back to us through DocuSign, which is a platform that is at your fingertips on your phone or on your computer, or if you can, you also have the chance to scan and send to us through the website that's there, and that will be provided to you at another time as well. So it's 4 different forms: preliminary application, dislocated worker survey, the BRO signature page, basically attesting that we reviewed this together, and the grievance procedure in case you feel that at any point you have been, your rights have been, you've been discriminated against, or your rights have been violated in any shape or form. Once you get those via email from us, you can return them to us again through DocuSign or to that email address. Step 2, I just wanted to let you know that your eligibility is really depends on the collection of all these documentations. So it's very, very important that you get this to us as soon as possible so we can deem your eligibility. Step 2 is I just want to review the correct documentation needed that you need to submit to us. Again, this is funded through the Department of Labor, so we have to have everything very much in alignment. So we need a valid, not expired state ID or driver's license, and proof of current address if it's not already on your ID or driver's license. A utility bill would suffice. And there's other documentations too that I can think off the top of my head, but if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We will need your layoff letter, which I believe will be happening soon. Will be provided by your employer. And the last check step, please make sure that you have that. And this is the right time to remind you to keep all these documentation that you get from Castwell, from us, and from the unemployment office in a safe and secure place, because we will be needing them. We also need your U.S. birth certificate, your current U.S. passport, naturalization certificate, or valid resident card. It cannot be expired. Otherwise, you won't qualify. And if you're male, and we need to have proof of your selective service compliance. If you have a resume, it'll be great to have one. If not, no worries. We will be more than happy to assist you through that. And also, if you have a high school diploma or a college diploma, we would also need that as well. Okay, so once we obtain your eligibility documents, we will then provide you with the second component. We will be reviewing and providing you with the second component of the training application. And that's just another, set of 3 forms that, again, this may be all very intimidating, but as we will be walking you through this step by step. The next set of forms that you see here, 1, 2, and 3, will be provided to you via email as far as I'm concerned as of now. If anything changes, of course, we will let you know. And lastly, of course, you submit your training application. And you will be, once I believe there is a sign-in sheet going around with your name, phone number, and your email address. We will be providing you with important deadlines. These deadlines pretty much determine whether or not you may be eligible for the program and how we can move, for us to move quickly so that you're not missing out on an opportunity to enroll without your unemployment benefits. Of course, this is, again, a great program. Can't emphasize that enough. And, it's definitely a lot of money that the Department of Labor is willing to fund. And so we would like to remind you that you also have responsibilities, and you should be accountable for your own training participation, to commit to your training plan with your career coach, attend all the classes, and submit timely documentation, attendance sheets, progress reports, and actively communicate with career coach on any change, big or small, address change, class difficulties, or thinking of switching a class. Any of those changes need to be notified and communicated through, with your career coach as early as possible. We also give you the opportunity to participate in workshops and events once you've completed your training program, or if you're looking for a job. Check your email regularly. These are the times. COVID has definitely posed vast challenges in terms of not being able to attend or provide things in person, but an email is definitely the way to go now. So we highly encourage you to check your email once, twice, multiple times through the day, just so that we can always be in communication. And lastly, just be responsive to opportunities. And I think this really means, you know, once you're in the job search period, it's going to be very important that you take advantage of these, you know, different opportunities provided to you. I am pretty much done, except I want to just mention before I go back to thoughts and questions, sorry about the slide order, I wanted to just make sure that you knew that National Able Network provides other specialized services. For instance, to people who don't already have a high school diploma, we have adult basic education and GED prep support. We have a great program to assist veterans. Veterans Forward, and we also work with senior citizens, individuals of 55 or better, who are, you know, want to enter the workplace, as well as IT Career Lab, which is provided to individuals who are interested in training for information technology careers, or IT. These are our funders. Our Trade Adjustment Assistance Program is funded through the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, or DCEO. The Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act through the Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership and other private community foundations like United Way, McCormick Foundation, the Northern Trust, and the Chicago Community Trust. So thank you for your time, and I wanted to know if anybody had any questions or concerns at this point.
So I do have one question. In the slides you mentioned that the packets for them to fill out to apply for the program will be emailed to them. It'll also be available on the website, the DOL designated website, correct?
Yes, I believe so. You are definitely right.
So the website will be given to you when you're officially laid off. It'll be on a layoff letter, and that website, if you go to that website, it'll have a copy of this video as well as that documentation that you fill out. DocuSign is an electronic way for you to sign a document. Okay, so you basically do everything online and then email it to them. Does anybody else have any other questions?
There is a time frame to get those benefits after we get laid off?
Can you go over the time frame after layoff that they have in order to apply for the benefits?
Absolutely. So you have 6 months from the day you were laid off. In some cases, if your time is coming close, we process what is called a waiver, and what that does is allows us to request the state to continue your unemployment benefits until we get your enrollment situated. Does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you.
So just to add on that, remember that your time frame for unemployment begins the first week that you begin receiving unemployment. So when they said 130 weeks, depending upon the training program, let's hypothetically say that your training program is exactly 130 weeks, but you wait until the 20th week to reach out to National Able and get started in the training program. Now you have, your clock starts even though you weren't in the training program. So now you have 110 weeks left, okay? So it's not 130 weeks from the moment you begin the training program, it's 130 weeks of unemployment from the day that you start unemployment counting for.
And if I could add, different programs are of different lengths, of course. Technically you get 26 weeks from either the date that the U.S. Department of Labor certifies your layoff as trade, and that happened on June 3rd, by the way, or the 26 weeks from your separation date, whichever is the more recent. So whichever is to your advantage stretches it out better for you. And if you don't get it done in that time, what happens Well, you would lose the extra money that is provided while you would be in training. So there's money that keeps you living expenses when unemployment stops. So when you reach the time when your unemployment account is exhausted, the balance of the unemployment account is zero, then the federal computer looks and says, is this person enrolled in training, or are they waiting for training to start? And if the answer is yes, boom, it switches over from regular unemployment insurance to the trade TRA. Is that correct, Mercedes? TRA?
Sorry, yes, that is correct.
Yeah. If you're not set up that way by that date, then you would, first of all, you would lose the money to live on while you're in training, and secondly, you would have to provide proof or support that you in fact have the financial capability to keep yourself afloat while you're in training, that you have the financial resources to do that. I did have some customers who were in that situation, but the overwhelming majority were getting their applications in so that they received the additional trade. They call it trade readjustment allowance. It's up on the screen there. Thanks, Mercedes.
No problem.
It's allowance to keep you in food and rent while you're in the training. Anything else?
So the last just quick question that I have is that there's a couple of people in the room that are moving out of state once they're laid off. Is this transferable to another state? And if so, I'm assuming they would contact the career center in that particular state, and they would be able to point them in the right direction.
That is correct. There's definitely communication there, and I haven't had a case yet, but I am aware that it's fairly common, and the opportunity is there. There's just things that happen on the back end for us to determine who pays what, like in terms of who is responsible for the unemployment benefits and who's responsible for the training. But yes, that is definitely a possibility.
You don't have the person who's thinking about training doesn't have to worry about which state pays what. The states work it out.
Right.
And there is set rules as far as who pays what. But if you are going to be relocating, it's probably better to get in place before you start. Who to contact once you get to the new state, you can find at doleta.gov.gov. So that's DOLETA. It stands for Department of Labor, Employment Training Administration, doleta.gov. And there you can find the contacts for every state and reach out to that person and say that you're currently residing in their state and you would like to pursue the trade program.
As you said in the process, you need to stay on.
If you don't have a high school diploma, oh, you do, you can. That's if you have it. You may be enrolling in something where you're attaining to get it, and that could be part of the program. So they can assist with high school diploma, that kind of thing as well. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Did you handle that one, or do we need
I
to?
did. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming. If you have any questions afterwards, please come talk to me. Hang on just real quick.
Mercedes.
It sounds like he has a question.
What about if you are not, I mean, if you are not, I mean, even familiar with these computers and whatnot, what are you going to do?
So the question was, if they're not familiar with computers and things along that nature, what's the process that they use? I think I know the answer to this, but I'll let you guys ask that. I know because of COVID that right now their office is closed, but when they do reopen, you guys will assist, correct?
Yes, so that is a tricky question. We are in weekly communication with our organization management to find out when we will reopen. I think the key thing to keep in mind here is that for all of you, as soon as we get the information as far as when your layoff date is, what we're going to do is we're definitely going to be flexible, but we need to, if your deadline is coming up, we will do everything in our power to accommodate so that we can obtain the paperwork in on time so that you're not losing on your benefits and your opportunities. Please do keep in mind, some of us are able to meet at the office following all precautions. We are not open to the public yet, and we highly stress out the importance of being able to navigate through some of these technology tools. But if that is just something that you don't have a family member, you don't have a friend who can help you, we would definitely have a conversation on what is the best route to go about it. But we definitely would not want you to miss out on an opportunity to be enrolled in the program simply because you lack the knowledge to access these tools online. I hope that makes clear or it makes sense.
Any other
It's
questions?
actually the government's responsibility to accommodate you, you know. Go ahead.
No other questions for sure.